Hey, what's up guys? Here again for another pepper pod review. Today we are doing the Matchbox Pepper. The seeds were sent to me by a fellow Pepper Lovers community member. Goes by Lloyd88CA. He tells me that it's actually a bred out version of a super chili pepper. Probably a little high on the Scoville unit scale for me, but I'll give it a try anyway. So there you go. It's a nice small pod. Starts out green, ripens to red. This one is half ripened. It's red down the base, still kind of a golden color near the top. And so yeah, let's go outside and have a look at how the plant looks. I'll explain a little bit about its growing conditions, and then we'll dive right into giving it a taste. What's up, Pepperheads? Today we're going to do another review on the Matchbox Pepper today. As you can see here, it's a bit of a smaller plant compared to my other ones that I've got in this bed. I don't have the names of the tags with me right now. I just have that that's a number 35, and that's a number 54. Maybe I'll put a little text in the video, but yeah, so there's all kinds of different sizes, different colors and so forth. So this is the Matchbox Pepper. As you can see, it's lower to the ground, it's denser, the foliage is small, very small leaves. I tend to prefer the small leafed peppers because they can handle the abuse of the wind and hail that we get here in southern Alberta. It fruited early, and it's pretty prolific considering how small the plant is. There's quite a few pods. So this is the one we're going to take today. It's partially ripened. Matchbox peppers apparently can get fairly spicy. Maybe I'll throw up the Scoville rating in the video here. This soil that I've got here is it's a mix of peat moss and potting soil, and I've filled the entire bed with that. There's a little bit of the local sand and clay mixed into it, a little bit of compost, just commercial vegetable compost. And they do get some fertilizer. I'm feeding them the same thing I'm feeding my other peppers in the other beds and my pots and things. So it's 3-1-2, and I often mix it half strength. And I only really fertilize when I remember to, which kind of varies. It can be every few days to sometimes I'll go 2 weeks before I hit it again. I also raked into the soil a low dose of slow release vegetable fertilizer just to help with calcium, because this mix of soil I've got is quite low in calcium, and as you probably know, peppers really like a lot of calcium. Once in a while I also will spray all my peppers down with a mixture of Epsom salt and water. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, and peppers are heavy magnesium users. So, I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and pull that pod, and we'll go cut it open and give it a taste. Alright guys, so here we are with the Matchbox Pepper, sent to me from the Pepper Lovers community. Member goes by Lloyd88CA, and so you can see it's a mostly ripened pod. It's nice shape, it's good, firm, solid, dense pod, and there's no appreciable smell from it right now. But we're going to go ahead and cut this open and give it a taste. That is a dense pepper. Very firm pepper body. Let's see if we can get some focus here. There we go. There's quite a few seeds. not terrible. The placenta goes all the way down to the end, which means that there's going to be a fairly even distribution of heat from top to bottom, probably. It's pretty juicy. Let's give it a smell here. Similar in aroma to the cascabellas that I've reviewed a few days ago. Doesn't smell super hot. Maybe a very small amount of floral aroma. Not terribly exciting otherwise. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and taste the Matchbox Pepper. And I've been told that it's going to be fairly spicy. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the whole thing in my mouth, but in case it's really hot for me, which is entirely possible, I also have a bowl of ice cream handy. And so that's my insurance policy, just in case it blows my mind. As I've mentioned before in some of my other videos, I don't handle heat as well as some of the other pepper lovers communities members do. So here goes nothing. Burst of fruitiness right in the beginning. Kind of a, not citrusy, but something kind of, hiccup. Something kind of fruity, hard to describe. It's actually not terribly spicy, I'm just sensitive to the hiccups today, I guess. The definitely making me sweat a little bit. The heat was immediate. It came on strong right away, and then spread across all of my tongue, including the back. Whew. It was definitely hot, but I would put this at well below habanero heat. It's making my eyes water a little bit. Definitely a warm pepper. A little bit of nose running. The heat spread down my throat, but it's not affecting down here at all. Back of my throat for sure, and across the roof of my mouth a little bit. I'm surprised by the amount of heat that I'm getting right across the middle entirety of my tongue and across the roof of my mouth. It's quite hot for me. I would put that easily twice an average jalapenos heat. Easily twice. Enough that it made me sweat. But it's dying down pretty quickly. It's now, I would call that a manageable heat level. So I'm over the initial shock. I still have some residual heat in the back of my throat. Didn't need the ice cream, although I'm going to eat it anyway. That scratching sound is a bit of a breeze out, and it's causing our cedar tree to scratch against our fascia on our house. Alright, so let's talk about the pepper itself. Initial feeling was the pepper was a little leathery, wasn't very juicy, kind of a bit on the tough side, so I would say would probably go well into making flakes or powders. There was an initial burst of kind of a fruity flavor, but it wasn't like You know how some of the peppers have a maybe a pineapple flavor or like a citrusy, lemony flavor? It wasn't like that. It was just sort of this warm sweetness. But it wasn't strongly sweet. You know, like habanero pepper can be quite sweet along with its heat. It wasn't like that. It just had this sort of this warm, fruity flavor that went along with the rapid burst of heat that spread very quickly throughout my entire mouth. The seeds were kind of tough. I think if I was to use these on a large scale for powders or sauces or whatever, I'd probably remove the seeds just because they're kind of tough and crunchy. They weren't especially bitter, but the texture they added it wasn't entirely unpleasant, but it was not ideal. It took away from the overall pepper experience. So now, with me talking, the heat on my tongue is almost totally gone. Back to the throat a little bit. I still have some near the rear of my mouth along the roof. And it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not excruciating. And that was just one pepper. I'm not sure what the story is with how these ones, if they increase in heat as they ripen or not. I suspect they probably do. So if it was a little bit riper, it probably would have been hotter. I probably would have tied into my ice cream a little quicker. But it wasn't unbearable. Just a bit of a sweat. That was it. So the pepper grew fairly quickly. It potted out really quickly. Compared to my other peppers, I don't know if you noticed that when I did my outside pictures or video, the other peppers haven't even barely begun flowering yet. The weather we've had lately has been in the 30 degree to almost 40 degrees Celsius range. We've had several days where we've reached 100 Fahrenheit. And so the fact that this plant, which I planted on March 9th, as I did the other peppers, the fact that this one is potted out while the other ones are not is a significant note. So if you want quick peppers right away, these Matchbox peppers are an excellent choice. I'm going to isolate some of the flowers when they come up as they go, and I'll isolate them with a tea bag. I've got some empty tea bags, and as they ripen, I'll collect some seeds, and I'll definitely be willing to share with my other pepper lover communities or anybody else who sees this video. If you send me a PM and would like some seeds, if I have them, I will be more than happy to send some to you. So there you go. That was the Matchbox Pepper.